Houston, Texas, 1981. The air hung thick with oil money and broken dreams. While some men struck it rich overnight in the energy boom, others crashed just as fast. Jim McIngvale was about to become one of them, or so it seemed. He had $5,000 to his name. No investors, no safety net, just a rented space in a rundown mobile home park and a stubborn refusal to fail. His wife Linda stood beside him as they transformed that cramped location into gallery furniture, sleeping on the showroom floor each night to guard their meager inventory like sentries protecting treasure. Every Saturday morning, before the sun crested over the Houston skyline, Jim and Linda would climb into a borrowed truck and make the 4-hour drive to Dallas. They'd load up furniture, pieces they'd negotiated for with every dollar they could scrape together, and haul it back to Houston. No distributors, no middlemen, just raw determination and aching backs. For 2 years, they ground it out. Sales trickled in slowly, barely enough to keep the lights on. Customers were scarce. The dream was fragile. Then came 1983, and everything nearly collapsed. The money dried up completely. Inventory sat unsold. The business was circling the drain, and Jim McIngvale was down to his last $10,000, every remaining cent he had in the world. He made a decision that would either save him or destroy him. He bet it all on a television commercial. When the production company delivered the final cut, Jim watched it once and felt his stomach drop. It was polished, professional, and completely lifeless. Beautiful bedroom furniture at reasonable prices droned across the screen in forgettable monotone. It was a disaster. He could feel his last $10,000 evaporating before his eyes. In a moment of pure panic, or perhaps inspiration, Jim did something insane. He pushed aside the professional actor, stepped in front of the camera himself, and let pure, unfiltered desperation take over. He shouted. He waved his arms. He yanked cash from his pocket and flung it into the air like confetti. His eyes were wild, his energy manic, and then he screamed a line that would echo through Houston for the next 4 decades. Gallery furniture saves you money. It wasn't scripted. It wasn't polished. It was raw, chaotic, and undeniably real. And Houston, scrappy, blue-collar, no-nonsense Houston, ate it up. The phone started ringing before the commercial even finished airing. Customers flooded the showroom. Within weeks, gallery furniture went from life support to sensation. Jim McIngvale wasn't just another struggling businessman anymore. He was Mattress Mack. But becoming Mattress Mack wasn't the finish line. For men like Jim, there is no finish line, only the next mountain to climb. For 20 years, he was relentless. While other business owners hired managers and stepped back, Mack was on the showroom floor 7 days a week, shaking hands, making deals, shouting into TV cameras. He worked 100-hour weeks fueled by coffee, adrenaline, and an almost pathological refusal to stop moving. Gallery furniture became a Houston institution. By the early 2000s, it was pulling in tens of millions annually. Mack had transformed that mobile home park gamble into a multi-location empire. He had the mansion, the cars, the respect. He'd won. But here's what you need to understand about men who build empires from nothing. They don't do comfortable. Mack wasn't wired for stability. Success didn't satisfy him. It bored him. He needed action, uncertainty, risk. The furniture business had become predictable, and predictable meant death for a man whose entire life was built on the high-wire act of do-or-die moments. So he went looking for his next adrenaline rush. He found it in sports betting. At first, it was recreational, small wagers, a little action on the Texans, something to make the games interesting. But Mack didn't do anything halfway, and it wasn't long before those small bets became something much bigger. Then one day, while watching a game and thinking about a furniture promotion, 2 neurons fired simultaneously in his brain, and everything changed. He realized something that would revolutionize how he did business. He could combine the two. He could turn sports betting into marketing. He could turn risk into profit. He could create a system where losing was impossible. And that realization would eventually lead to the biggest legal sports betting win in history. The year was 2012. The Houston Texans were having their best season in franchise history, and Mack saw an opportunity that nobody else did. He launched a promotion. Buy $3,000 or more in furniture, and if the Texans won at least 10 games that season, you'd get every penny back. Customers went insane. The promotion tapped into Houston pride, team loyalty, and the irresistible allure of free money. Sales exploded. In a matter of weeks, millions of dollars worth of furniture walked out the door. Now, a normal businessman would be sweating bullets. If the Texans hit that 10-win mark, he'd have to refund millions. That kind of liability could sink a company. But Mack wasn't sweating. He was smiling. Because behind the scenes, he'd done something brilliant. He'd taken all that furniture money and placed massive sports bets against the promotion. If the Texans failed to reach 10 wins, he kept the furniture revenue. If they succeeded, his sports betting winnings covered the refunds. It was a perfect hedge, a closed loop, a system where the outcome didn't matter because he won either way. The furniture sales came in, the bets paid out, and when the dust settled, Mack had discovered something more valuable than money. He'd found a formula. Over the next few years, he perfected it. Super Bowls, World Series, March Madness. Whenever Houston had a team in contention, Mack was there with a promotion in one hand and a betting slip in the other. But then he got cocky. February 2nd, 2014, Super Bowl 48, Seattle Seahawks versus Denver Broncos. On paper, it looked like a mismatch. The Broncos had Peyton Manning fresh off one of the greatest quarterback seasons in NFL history. The Seahawks had a fearsome defense, sure, but the odds makers and analysts were nearly unanimous. Denver was going to win. Mack launched his promotion. Buy $6,000 worth of furniture, and if the Seahawks won, your purchase was free. But this time, something was different. This time, Mack broke his own golden rule. He didn't hedge the bet. He was so confident the Broncos would win that he didn't place a single counter wager. No safety net, no backup plan, just blind faith in the conventional wisdom. And from the very first snap of the game, he knew he'd made a catastrophic mistake. 12 seconds in, the Broncos botched the opening snap, resulting in a safety. By the end of the first quarter, it was 8-0. Seahawks. By halftime, it was 22-0, and what was supposed to be a competitive championship had become a massacre. Mack watched from home, pacing on a treadmill, helpless. His heart pounded. Sweat poured down his face, not from the exercise, but from the dawning realization of what was about to happen. Final score, Seahawks 43, Broncos 8. Over 1,000 customers had qualified for refunds. Total damage, $8 million in immediate refunds. But the nightmare didn't end there. Because he'd recorded all those furniture sales as revenue, but hadn't offset them with betting wins, the IRS came calling. When tax season rolled around, he got slammed with millions in taxable income on money he'd already refunded. The final tally, $13 million gone. That night, staring at the numbers, the receipts, the tax bills, the sheer magnitude of the loss, Mack made himself a promise. Never again. Never again would he place a bet without a hedge. Never again would he leave his fate in someone else's hands. If he was going to play this game, he would control every variable. Most men would have learned to stop gambling. Mack learned to gamble better. For most people, a $13 million loss would be career-ending. But Mack isn't most people. He spent the next 3 years refining his system, running the numbers obsessively, stress-testing every scenario until there were no weaknesses left. And when the moment came, he was ready. 2017. The Houston Astros made it to the World Series against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Mack launched a massive promotion. Buy $3,000 or more in mattresses. And if the Astros won, you'd get a full refund. But this time he hedged. Millions of dollars in sports bets on the Astros to win. If Houston lost, he kept the furniture revenue. If they won, his betting payout covered the refunds. The Astros took it to Game 7. The entire city held its breath. And when they finally won, Mack didn't just recoup his investment. He made a fortune. The 2017 bet proved something crucial. His system wasn't luck. It was mathematics. From that moment on, Mack ran the same play over and over. NBA Finals, March Madness, Kentucky Derby. Every major sporting event with a Houston angle became another opportunity to execute the formula. 1. Launch promotion 2. Drive furniture sales 3. Hedge with massive sports bets 4. Win regardless of outcome. It was foolproof. Vegas had never seen anything like it. 2019 World Series. Astros versus the Washington Nationals. This time, Mack decided to make a statement. He traveled across state lines, Mississippi, New Jersey, Nevada, placing bets at multiple sportsbooks in multiple jurisdictions. By the time he was done, he'd wagered over $11 million on the Astros to win. It was the largest single sports bet ever recorded in American history. The casinos were genuinely nervous. If Mack won, they'd be paying out tens of millions simultaneously. The liability was unprecedented. And then the Astros lost. Just like that, $11.6 million vanished. Sports media went wild. Headlines screamed about the biggest betting loss ever. Talking heads analyzed Mack's addiction. People wondered if he'd finally gone too far. But here's what they didn't understand. Mack had driven over $20 million in furniture sales from that promotion. Even after losing the bet, he still walked away profitable. The casino saw a man who'd lost millions. Mack saw proof that even his failures were profitable. He wasn't gambling. He was conducting business. 2022, the Houston Astros were back in the World Series, facing the Philadelphia Phillies. Mack had been preparing for this moment for months. While everyone else focused on the games, he focused on the numbers. And before the first pitch of the World Series was even thrown, he'd already laid the groundwork for something historic. The promotion was familiar. Buy $3,000 worth of furniture, get it free if the Astros won. But the betting was anything but familiar. Over the course of weeks, Mack systematically placed wagers across 6 different sportsbooks in multiple states. He stacked bets on top of bets, leveraging different odds, different angles, different platforms. By the time the series began, he had $10 million in action spread across the country. If the Astros won, his payout would be $75 million, the largest in sports betting history. Game 6, Minute Maid Park, November 5th, 2022. The Astros closed out the Phillies 4-1. The stadium exploded. Players celebrated. Fans wept with joy. And in the front row, a 71-year-old furniture salesman jumped up and down like a kid who'd just won the lottery. Because that's exactly what had happened. The sportsbooks knew immediately they had a problem. Caesars, DraftKings, MGM, FanDuel, they all took massive hits. One executive later admitted, "We just wrote the biggest check in sports betting history. Total payout, $75 million. But here's the beautiful part. Even if the Astros had lost, Mack would have made money from furniture sales. The system worked whether he won or lost the bet. The casinos thought they were playing against a gambler. They were actually playing against a business model, and they lost. Most people would take their $75 million and disappear. Retire, buy an island, fade into legend. Not Mattress Mack. In 2023, he ran another Astros promotion. The team fell short, but he sold over $80 million in furniture. He bet on March Madness, the Kentucky Derby, the Super Bowl. Each time, the same formula. Each time, proving the system never fails. The casinos have started limiting his action, setting special rules for his bets. Some won't take his wagers at all anymore. They're terrified of what he might do next. But Mack doesn't care, because he's already proven something that nobody thought possible. You can beat the house. Not with luck, not with inside information, but with mathematics, strategy, and the willingness to think differently than everyone else. He turned furniture sales into sports betting capital. He turned promotions into hedges. He turned risk into certainty. And in doing so, he didn't just win $75 million. He rewrote the rules of the game itself. So what's next for Mattress Mack? Bigger bets, bigger promotions, bigger risks. Because as long as there's a game to play, one thing is absolutely certain. He's not done winning yet. And the casinos? They're still trying to figure out how a 71-year-old furniture salesman from Houston outsmarted an industry designed never to lose.